Big City Greens. Short wait. This episode is about Cricket and his family going to this restaurant called Weekdays, where they have to wait to be seated, and Cricket is just starving the entire time. Another episode where it's just this plot, there's nothing else really. Which I really, like I said, I said it a few, I think it was either last week or a few weeks ago, whenever I said it. They really should just keep doing this. You know what I mean? They really should just keep doing this, especially because, like, with season 1, season 2, it was only 4 characters. Like, genuinely, it was only, like, 4 characters that they really needed to focus on. Any more than 4 characters, it's gonna be really hard to make 2 plots based off of all those characters in one episode. With season 1 and 2, it was just like, hey, we have 4 characters, let's just split them up into 2 groups. Let's have 2 characters on this one, and then 2 characters on that one. And it makes sense. Here we technically have 2 stories, technically, with Tilly and Cricket. Cricket, of course, going out to, like, find food of any kind. And Tilly, of course, having this, like, worshipping the buzzer or whatever. That's... The buzzer is deciding our fate, you know? It was a fun episode. I liked it. It was a good episode. There was a lot of good gags here. There was some funny parts. The ending is hilarious. The ending part with the song is amazing. It's like anime. It's like a weird anime intro. At least I think that's what they were going for. But it was still hilarious. It was still great. It just comes out of nowhere and it's just funny. So anyways, yeah, it was a good episode. I like this one. It was good. It was good. So, on to the next episode, which is Lawful. This episode is about Cricket breaking, like, all the laws on, like, this old, like, page of, or I guess just a list, just straight up a list of all laws in Smallton. And he breaks every single one of them. And Nancy and some of the other townspeople have to go and chase him down to try and stop him because Nancy's afraid that this will lead him down a path of being a felon like she was. Wow, this is an episode. This is one of those ones where it's like, it's a really, really good idea. I love this idea. I like the idea of Cricket, having this whole thing, and I like whatever Nancy does or whatever. But, like, man, what did I say? What did I say? What did I literally just say in the last episode? There's a side plot in this that's, like, Tilly and Remy, like, going to, like, this old person and, like, doing all the toys and stuff. It works, it's fine, but, like, man, if only they would have focused on the Cricket story. I think it actually would have been better. I think it would have actually been better. I don't think this episode's bad, I just think it's kind of decent. It's just kind of there. There's a few parts to this that are actually funny. There's a few parts to this that, are actually entertaining and stuff. I did enjoy this episode, and I was entertained, which is good. Which is why it's gonna be decent, instead of it being average or bad. It's just one of those episodes where it could have been so much better. Hell, I'd even argue the Remy and Tilly thing could have been better. They have this, like, cool little twist at the end where, like, Remy and Tilly turn full on, like, oh, Jiminy Cricket, here is blah, 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 blah. You gotta find out this new fancy toy. And they, like, start speaking, like, in the, like, of that era of the toys that they're playing with. It's funny. It's a nice little twist, and even the person, like the old person, is like playing the video game. He's like, stupid campers, get wrecked noobs, like it's like a role reversal, and it's kind of funny. It kind of works, and I was like, oh man, that was good. That part was good, but they just don't focus on it. I think at the very end, with Cricket saying like, oh man, Tilly and Remy must have really missed out on this. Like, genuinely, that is pretty much the most telling thing about this entire episode, is the end with that part, because that's really it. Basically just explaining to the audience that that story that you were watching had nothing to do with this episode. There was no reason for it to be here, so why was it here? it probably wouldn't be something that could carry an episode. I absolutely get that. I understand that. But I don't know, man. It's just like, it's just they're trying to like force a subplot. It just doesn't work, you know? The scenes with Tilly and Remy do not last long at all. They last maybe like 30 seconds each. Aside from, I think, the intro. The intro was like, a minute, maybe a little over a minute. I hate to use the term filler, but like, that's seriously what it is. I'm trying not to be too harsh on it because it really is something that this show has always done. They've always had like these short stories like this. I'm not saying necessarily that that's a bad thing, because sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes like both stories actually do add to an episode. I mean, look at last episode with the whole thing with Tilly and the buzzer. Like there's possibilities for these episodes to have these types of side plots where it actually does make sense with the actual main story. But this, I'm sorry, man, it just wasn't it. Aside from it being in the exact same location where the episode started, that's really it. There's nothing really in common with this side story versus what we're seeing. Maybe, I guess it might be because it's the history of Smallton. Maybe, I guess you could probably make that argument. But even then, I would also argue that that is because, well, it literally starts in the exact same location where the story began, like the main story began. But with Tilly's from the last episode, same place, same location, and same core reason why Cricket was not getting fed. With the buzzer and it not going off, and like, Tilly's like, oh man, we must know, the buzzer knows all, It just made more sense being there. A good subplot, in my opinion, is a subplot that you cannot tell is a subplot. That is probably the best thing that the show does. That is one of the best things that the show does. Is the side plots where you just don't know. You don't catch that it's supposed to be a side plot. The whole things with Tilly, I just assume, yeah, this is just part of the episode. It works because it's part of the episode. We're not being taken away from whatever's going on. But in this episode, it's like whenever Remy and Tilly were on screen, it wasn't like it was necessarily bad. It was just like, oh, okay, I guess we're back here. It's completely disconnected to wherever we're seeing. And in my opinion, ultimately, the more interesting story was being put on pause, pretty much. That's just me, though. That's just me. Like I said, I really do think this episode's fine. It works for what it is. But, man, it's another case, another example of a great A plot, but just a weak B. Just a very weak B. Very weak. And before anyone says, oh, man, they have to fill up the episode with something, I understand that. But you have 95 laws where he's breaking. Pick one, pick two, pick three, whatever, however many you want to put inside of those gaps to fill up that space. I'm okay with that. Of course, it's very easy for me to say it, sitting down and, not having a job and writing and all this other stuff. But I really do think you could. If you did enough brainstorming, if you did enough things, you really could. I mean, for God's sake, one of them was literally him speaking in Pig Latin. Like, you could come up with some wacky ones, I'm sure. You could come up with some very wacky ones. Honestly, it was actually kind of surprising. I'm like, damn, he's already done 95? Like, holy shit, how much did we miss? Like I said, so much potential with this one. So much potential. It's still a decent episode, but man, what could have been? What could have been? Anyways, guys, I'll go and conclude this review of Big City Greens. One episode which was good, another episode which was okay, it was kind of decent. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, awesome. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye, everybody. I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everybody.